MarzGurl.
I'm JoshKnightTheFirst.
And welcome to episode 20 of MokkoriPlay, the only podcast dedicated solely to all things City Hunter.
On today's podcast, we're going to cover episode 20 of City Hunter, titled Her Ladyship Leaves the Mountain, One Long Day for Rio. So this week's episode can be a little confusing because we thought, looking at the preview, going back over it, because it's been at least a year, I think, since I've seen this episode, I thought our lady that City Hunter's protecting this week was a ninja. She's not a ninja.
I know for a fact they do encounter a ninja lady at some point.
That does come up.
I thought that was this one. This lady doesn't really do ninja stuff. She's just up on a mountain, and at one moment in time in the episode, she does a judo throw. That's about it.
But she is dressed like a female ninja.
Yeah, it's very super traditional, before modern times, lives out in some rural area, and probably does a lot of farming kind of clothes.
Right. So let's go ahead and get straight into it then. So this week, we start off the episode there at Shinjuku Station. Ryo's checking out to see if there are any requests for City Hunter, and we see that there is a request made by a Mr. Gundayu Danoura, who we find is an old man who is currently being accosted in an alley where he tells Ryo to meet him.
It's a very specific place to ask to meet somebody, is down some back alley.
Now initially Ryo doesn't want to take it, but Kaori says, nope, we're going, we need this, and they happen to show up right when the man is being accosted by two guys in sunglasses with guns, and we don't know necessarily what they want, but just in the nick of time, Ryo rolls up in the Mini and chases them off.
Very succinctly, too, manages to get a back kick, kind of like a horse kick.
Yeah.
Behind that, actually, you don't really hear the collision sound when you first see, like, the kick land against, like, the guy's jaw or wherever it is that it lands. You do hear him land on the ground, but, like, it was a very silent kick.
Which I imagine is either a mess up on the sound designer's part or Ryo's just that good.
It could just be that.
He can silence his kicks.
Wow. How do you, like, attach a silencer to your foot?
I mean, maybe like the way Kamen Rider Faiz does, you just stick it on the end of your leg.
Well, that's him putting a whole-ass gun on his boot.
Well, it's more like a flashlight. You know, we're getting sidetracked. So anyway, Ryo saves this guy, Gundayu, who to me looks like Dr. Wily, but not exactly.
He's a much less intelligent Dr. Wily.
But he's very old man, and he's like, thank you for saving me, young man. You're the man I hired. Let me tell you about all of our history and our ancient mountain valley. And he proceeds to plot dump all this stuff about how for 800 years his family has served the Heike family up there in Kurokuma Valley.
That's Black Bear. Very likely. Again, I would need to double check the kanji to make absolutely certain, but I'm pretty sure it's just Black Bear Mountain.
Yeah, Black Bear Valley.
Oh, excuse me, Valley. I went to Mountain Valley Elementary School, and so it's easy for me to just replace one with the other.
So out here in Kurokuma Valley, he has been tending to this family, and currently the daughter of who we assume is some kind of leader up there is going to be coming down the mountain later on in the episode.
When she comes, she'll be coming down.
I was trying to avoid it. I was trying so hard.
Then why did you even say it?
It just it's there in my notes. It's there in my notes. So when the lady comes from where she lives,
which is the mountains.
Yes.
She'll be coming down, she'll be coming by train when she comes.
She will be coming by herself from the mountain.
She'll be coming by herself when she comes.
I wrote myself into this. God. She's coming to basically get a tour of the city. She wants to see what the capital is like in comparison to where she's from up there in the mountains. So we meet her there at where I assume is Shinjuku Station.
I'm sure it must be. They just kind of go up this escalator and they meet her on a train platform. And so we only, at that moment, there's our princess, her ladyship, Hana, which is the one and only time you ever hear her name. And then from that point on, they're always like, Hime-sama, 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 princess, princess, princess,
her ladyship,
ladyship. And they never say her actual name ever again.
It just comes up the one time, and like we had to go back over it being like, does she even have a name? Who is this person?
It's kind of weird how the mountain people have a princess. She doesn't really seem like she does anything princessy, actually. Is she just a figurehead? She seems like she's just a figurehead.
Most likely, yes. And again, she's dressed very traditional traditional ninja garb style. Think Misao Makimachi from Rurouni Kenshin, but in like loud green.
Which is why I kind of think it's more like super commoner kind of clothes.
Entirely possible.
Like really commoner kind of clothes, like she was out picking rice, okay? Like she just came from the rice fields and then got on a train and then showed up in Shinjuku.
Yes, and she's come with a ton of bags, and Ryo's like, okay, well, how old is she again? 18. Great, we're good to go. So we got that out of the way this
Well, I
week.
mean, he said that she was 18 before she even showed up.
Which is good because at least we know ahead of time this week.
Yeah.
No surprises.
Mm-hmm. Also good this week, just gonna say it flat out early on, no assault. Congratulations,
Good job, Ryo.
No assault.
You're on your way to that 5-week token. But we see that she's come with a ton of bags, and Ryo's expected to carry them, and Ryo's like, okay, I'm not here to carry bags, I'm a bodyguard. What exactly am I guarding her from? And Old Man's like, oh, we'll talk about that later, bye. And then we don't see him for like half the episode.
Yeah, but in those bags is 1, a whole bunch of vegetables, and 2, a monkey.
A monkey! A monkey with the most basic ass name, Taro.
It's kind of like naming a dog Rex, you know? But even then, Taro is a name that gets added to like every man's name ever. Every boy's
Shotaro, Gentaro. It comes up a lot. It's a very common add-on or just name in general.
Momotaro.
Yes.
Like, yeah, Taro is just like the boys' go-to ending of their name.
Like, if I'm not mistaken, the Japanese equivalent to John Doe in English is Taro Yamada. Like, the most basic name you can come up with.
Yamada for sure is the most basic family
Or
name.
Taro Yamada. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
We said the same thing. I just said it with a different emphasis in a
Okay,
different
okay,
place.
yeah, but basically, yeah, it's super common. So it's like naming your dog Dude or Boy or what have you. Just really, really common. Like, there's no originality in this monkey's name.
No, but he's cute. This is a really cute monkey.
Like,
you see how happy this monkey
very
is?
Curious George vibe coming off the monkey.
Yeah, super big, happy mouth. And he's so small. He's so little.
Like the chihuahuas that you see inside women's bags is what I'm saying, how big this monkey is. He's a real tiny monkey.
Yeah, and not nearly as unruly as those chihuahuas inside of... Well, not as like...
No,
okay,
no.
he's unruly. No, but what I mean by that is like, he's not going to just start yapping away at any given stranger and then shivering because actually he's just trying to hold off and trick people into believing he's not terrified out of his mind.
So on the sliding scale of monkeys in popular media, he's above the monkey in Ace Ventura, but below Abu
in Aladdin.
Exactly. So cut to the mini. Everybody is stuffed into the mini, crumbling under the weight of all of these bags that Hana has brought with her, and Ryo's asking, okay, so where are we going? And she's just like, take me anywhere, I want to see everything. To which Ryo's like, okay, that's fine, but how am I getting compensated for this? And she's like, oh, pay no mind to compensation. Whatever you want, anything you want, you'll have it. And Ryo and Kaori just immediately default to, oh, that means money. We're great. We're set.
We're just gonna have a ton of money. So we're gonna go to a restaurant, and little do they know that she is going to ask for the menu. And I don't mean like ask to see a menu.
She wants everything.
She wants
on the menu.
All of the menu items on the menu delivered to the table, and she eats most of it. And they're just like,
no, she eats all of it by herself.
Just about all of it. And Kaori's over here like, well, she said she was gonna pay us. And Ryo's like, yeah, this is a business expenditure. And Kaori responds again, well, yeah, but you're clearly uncomfortable with this.
Well, yeah, because
so.
right now she's not saying, hey, dinner's on me. The assumption here is that Ryo is paying for all of this food.
Right.
Because he hasn't been paid for the job yet. Mm-hmm. And the thing I want to point out throughout the episode is that we were both noting the animation style for this particular week. Kaori and Ryo are making some amazing reaction faces.
Super cartoony faces throughout this episode.
And they share a lot of the same reactionary faces, too.
I kind of wonder if maybe we should have looked up who the art director specifically of this episode was. I'd be very curious to know.
Yeah, because it ups the comedy quite a bit. Because granted, this is a very funny episode, but on top of that, what really pushes it over is seeing their facial reactions.
It really seems to me like one particular dude was in charge this episode, and his influence really carried across the episode.
I feel the same way. So it's already bad enough that Ryo is potentially having to pay for this giant-ass meal, like everything in the restaurant, eaten so fast he didn't even get to enjoy it. We go out to the car, and Taro is jumping on the horn. Ryo goes to check on the car, and Taro has shredded that interior.
And on top of that, like, he's pulled out, you remember all those vegetables? Like, all those vegetables are in there. And
all
like,
over the seat.
Just chopped up to pieces. And so they're, like, probably in the seat now, too, because he's torn up that interior, and all the cushioning is coming out of the seats. So already the car is not great.
It's not doing well this week.
Yeah.
Like, I was already asking at that point, like, is Ryo going to consider this a complete and total loss?
And I was saying, well, not right now he's not, because all you really need to do at this moment in time is just, he can just replace the seats.
Yeah, like
it would be
clearly he knows a guy.
It would be less expensive than having to buy an entirely new car.
Okay, so we'll hold on to that.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to replace the Mini just yet.
Not yet.
So we cut to the Imperial Palace where we're continuing this tour of the city, and Taro just jumps in the river, and Hana's just like, oh, that looks like a good idea, and just yeets herself into the river as well.
Yeah, sure, because this is what a princess should be doing, is saying, what's the monkey doing today? I think that sounds like a good idea. This is the leadership of this mountain people, is somebody who's like, the monkey's got some good ideas, we should listen to him.
The monkey's got a council position. Like, the monkey, we don't know. We don't know very much about Kurokuma Valley. The monkey might have a salary. We don't know that. He might be in charge of city planning.
We do not know how their system of government works up in Black Bear Valley.
Yeah.
We really don't.
I hear the translation Black Bear Valley, and much like you, I assume they must have a great football program.
Yeah, that sounds like us.
Yeah, Black Bear Valley's got a great quarterback this season. They're gonna take us all the way to prefecture. And of course the guards there at the palace are like, hey, what the hell are you doing over there? And Ryo's like, no, it's fine, we're cool, we're leaving, it's fine. And then they head over to a bathhouse because, they gotta clean off after being in that dirty river. And Ryo's like, okay, I'll join you. And then of course he gets hit with the 100-ton hammer this time.
Mind you, the princess too is over like, why didn't you join me? This doesn't make any sense, because she doesn't understand. We don't do that here in the Tokyo, where we separate the men's and the women's, although there was, you could clearly see there was a little boy in the women's room. Mind you, okay, I think that crosses cultures, right?
Yeah.
That moms can take their little boys anywhere they want, so long as they're little boys, right?
Yeah, but Ryo even tries to sneak in under a disguise into the bathhouse. That doesn't work either. And still Hana's like, well, how come you didn't come in there? Which makes me wonder about the bathing situation up there in Black Bear Valley, all right? Like, are they just bathing in a river? Do they have a bathhouse? Because she's acting like she's never seen, a public bathhouse before.
That's true. Yeah, that could be. I mean, they could be doing that thing where they got those tubs outside and they have to be heated with fire or whatever.
Oh, that's entirely possible.
Yeah, they could be doing that thing.
Because there's really two ways of looking at this. They're either, backwood hicks, or they're feudal Japan-style ninja clans hidden there in the valley.
I mean, I guess considering when we eventually see who's coming after her, they also came from this valley in the mountains, and he's not a ninja. He didn't seem to learn ninja things, so I guess those people are not ninjas.
No, they're not.
They are just a very Japanese farming community.
We're under this assumption based off what they're showing us in the episode.
Right.
So after the bathhouse, Ryo is asking Hana, okay, where do you want to go now? And she's like, I want to go to a landfill because I want to feel sad about things. Like, I don't know why you would willingly want to go there. And she goes there and she's looking out over this giant sea of trash and garbage.
Yeah, the shots are like identical to that old crying Native American advertisement.
Yeah, you saw it a lot in the 70s and the 80s, this old ad, which I think even gets parodied in like Wayne's World 2.
Yeah.
Of the crying Native American being...
Which, just let the record show that the guy playing the crying Native American was absolutely not a Native American.
Yeah.
I just need to put that out on record.
But looking at it, there seems to be a kind of ecological message here. She's like, oh, I don't want our area there in the valley to become like this. I would never want that to happen. So clearly she's worried about something that's going to happen to the land up there. But of course we haven't been fully filled in yet. And by this point, we've had a couple of funny moments, but we need some action in this episode. So cue the attack helicopter.
Attack helicopter. So many attack helicopters in this series.
So we get this Fidel Castro looking guy flying the helicopter, like he's got the goatee and the hair and the cap, just like he's from Cuba, and he's flying in.
Which is funny because they later say that, oh, well, he didn't go to Cuba, he went to Africa. Okay, fine.
Yeah,
whatever.
So immediately, he was flying really low to the ground. So,
it was like a couple of feet from the ground.
Right. So being that close to the ground, Han is able to clearly identify this man as Gorobe, a former member of the Valley, who since left, went out into the world and hooked up with some African mercenaries and has, I guess, gotten access to their weapons and stuff and is trying to take over the Valley.
This seems a little extreme.
Yes.
This is a kind of an extreme way to go about doing this.
So he makes one diving pass and he's shooting. He's opening with the chain gun. Passes, misses everybody, comes back. We see Taro back in the Mini. Rio has to go in after him like, no.
We have to save the monkey from this attack helicopter. Okay.
Because the monkey doesn't know what an attack helicopter is. He doesn't think it's a threat. He doesn't know any better. He's simple mountain folk.
Monkeys don't know what attack helicopters are.
It's an attack helicopter! And unfortunately, that takes out the Mini. So now he has to get another Mini.
The Mini, I love how Rio runs into the car, saves this tiny monkey, he's cradling this monkey in his arms as he's running away. Moment. And then suddenly, and the car just blows up in this incredible, really well animated fireball. Like, there goes another Mini. And Josh, why have we not been keeping count of how many Minis have been destroyed? Absolutely
I meant to do the count. I have all the notes here. We should be able to take an accurate count of how many Minis we're up to now in City Hunter.
And I just want to point out, just from the episode preview, next episode, he will lose another Mini next episode.
Another Mini a week. So, we have to keep different counters here of, has there been any groping incidents this week? Are we losing the Mini this week? Is there another princess this week? Well, this week there's a princess, and we lose the Mini.
Yeah.
So I guess after that pass, Gorobe thought, oh, well, I blew up a car, that's enough, I'm gonna leave. I don't really want to kill her, but I at least want to scare her. And so he leaves in the attack helicopter, and it's like, what's going on here? I still don't understand. Well, in the meantime, we can't just stay like this. Princess, you look too noticeable here in this garb that you're wearing. We're taking you back into Shinjuku, and we're giving you a makeover.
And they made her over a little too well, and she looks like a supermodel now. So she's
very chic.
Walking down the street, and every single dude on the street is like, hey, baby, what's up? And she doesn't understand slang. She doesn't understand
she's very literal.
She doesn't understand modern Tokyo slang. And so every time somebody tries to hit on her, she just comes back with, oh, what do you mean by this thing extremely literally? And they're all just like oh my god, I can't communicate with her.
She's basically like Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy right now.
Yeah.
Like, hey, baby, you want to go dancing? Oh, do you have folk dance out here in the capital? No, that's not what I meant. I can't deal with this.
Yeah.
And then one really big biker dude tries to hit on her, puts a hand on her shoulder, and that's where we get the judo throw.
Self-defense class activate!
Yes. So clearly she's got enough strength to be able to deal with some kind of threat, but just not an attack helicopter.
I mean, you can't judo throw an attack helicopter unless you're Segata Sanshiro.
And he can do that.
He can do that, and he is not, in fact, in City Hunter.
Unfortunately not.
No, he does not exist yet at this point in time. In 1987.
But we'll get there.
Not in City Hunter.
Not in City Hunter, though, no. So then this really boxy mid-sized sedan shows up, and the same two guys that we saw at the beginning of the episode jump out with the chloroform rag TM.
Aha, does this rag smell like chloroform to you?
What? Yeah, just real quick, like, oh, what is that? Oh.
And into the back of the 80s car you go.
Like, it's so quick. Like, what kind of chloroform were they using in the 80s that works that fast?
Well, the whole sequence is so fast, too. Car comes up. Oh, rag. Oh, and back of the car. Just over.
And Ryo doesn't have very much time to react, but he reacts quickly. He steals a motorcycle and gives chase. And it's like, all right, great, chase scene, right? No.
Well, I mean, it's pretty rad that Ryo's riding a motorcycle for a little bit. You're like, oh my god, what a badass. He, like, took the motorcycle probably of that dude that she had just judo thrown, right?
Or probably one of the guys that was in the area.
Somebody around that area, and you're like, oh man, Ryo can ride a motorcycle. That's pretty freaking cool. He probably really needs it too, considering at the moment he is carless.
Right, he has no vehicle. Like, you imagine from the landfill back to Shinjuku, they had to call a cab.
Or they just took the train. I mean, you know.
I mean, we don't really know how far that landfill was away.
From
they had to take
station.
some kind of public transportation.
Right.
They didn't have a choice.
Although Kaori has a car, maybe they got Kaori's car.
Yeah, but they have to go get it. They didn't take Kaori's Fiat out here. They don't need to when they had the Mini. At least they have another car waiting.
That's
somewhere.
True. That's true.
So Ryo's giving chase on this motorcycle, and for whatever reason, these two kidnappers had the wherewithal to use Ryo's kryptonite against him, a free bra.
How well did they research Ryo before all of this?
Because this is the smartest thing they do the whole episode, and there is no basis for why they would know to do this.
Because you would think, oh, all right, maybe throw out some caltrops behind you.
Right, exactly.
Like, no, instead what they throw out the window is a white bra with a little pink bow in the middle of it, right in between the cleavage, and he's like, yes! And completely leaves the seat of the motorcycle, swimming in the air just to catch it, I think with his face.
Yeah,
even.
like... Kidnappers use bra. It's super effective. And Ryo just goes crashing into this pile of garbage cans, and he's like, oh, damn it, they got me.
Like, oh, wait a minute. There was something I was supposed to do. My one weakness. And I'm shocked that Kaori's like, I can't believe you did something this stupid. Like, she's mad, but she's not like, really? For the bra? Come on, man.
But at this point, this isn't the first time it's happened, though. Like, you know who you're working with. This is his kryptonite.
At that point, like, if I were Kaori, I'd be like, God, why was I not there? I should have known you would do something like this.
Well, you figure it makes sense. Ryo would be the one to give chase and leave Kaori out of it because he's trying to keep her safe. Like, that's the whole thing he promised to Makimura. Keep my sister safe. So he's not going to bring her on the motorcycle.
He's not going to bring her. Kaori tries to jump in all the time, though.
Yeah, but I don't see her stealing any motorcycles, although that would be really badass.
It would be really badass, but also, I don't know that she can operate a motorcycle.
Do you think she can operate a motorcycle any better than she can hold a handgun?
No.
Yeah, so that would have been a terrible idea.
I still think she would have just jumped on regardless of what Ryo said was a good idea.
Entirely possible. So back at Ryo's apartment, they need a little bit more explanation from Gundayu about, okay, what the hell is going on here? Why did they kidnap her? And he explains that they're trying to get a hold of, or this guy Gorobe is trying to get a hold of the deed to the valley because they're trying to create a recreational area around the valley, like a land development deal. So again, this is really similar to Yakuza 0.
That and like Yakuza 3, where they're trying to turn part of Okinawa into this big restructured area.
Yeah.
I think closer to Yakuza 3 in that regard.
Well, specifically because they're trying to get the deed off somebody.
Yeah,
that's like 0.
No, they're trying to get Kiryu's land too, Josh, in Okinawa in Yakuza 3, and Kiryu's over here like, no, I want my orphanage and I want to take care of my children, so I'm not gonna give up my land. And then the Yakuza come in and they're like, haha, we destroyed your home anyway, and so we're gonna get that deed, and blah, blah, blah.
The major difference here is that they're not trying to destroy the valley. Actually, nobody's trying to destroy the valley. They just want the rights to it.
Right.
And so old man Gundayu's like, so how are you gonna handle this? And Ryo's like, oh, I'm just waiting for a phone call. What phone call? That one. Like, right perfect comic timing right there. He's like, yeah, what do you want? Resist, City Hunter. I want you to bring the deed out to the docks at so-and-so time. Okay, bye. And Rio's like, all right, I'm gonna go do this thing. Cowdy, watch this guy, because I don't trust his ass. I'll be right back.
He's not freaked out enough about his princess actually having been kidnapped. He's just more concerned about this deed thing. So, yeah, stay with him.
So Rio heads out to the docks, which, if there's two locations we see a lot in City Hunter, that's not just Rio's apartment, it's the airport and the docks.
Yeah.
They're always at the warehouses at the docks.
There's a lot of criming at warehouses at docks, okay? That's just the way it goes.
So Rio shows up and Gorobei's like, hey, do you have the deed on you? He's like, yeah, I got the deed. You got the girl? Yeah, we got the girl. All right, shoot her. You ain't gonna do it. I bet you won't. You won't. You won't. And like these guys have their guns trained on her and he calls their bluff like, you're not gonna do it. And he's right. They don't actually, like, he steps to them.
Doesn't he shoot the guns out of their hands anyway? Like,
yeah, he does.
You're not gonna do it, and here's how I know. Pew, pew. How did you know that we weren't even gonna shoot her in the first place?
And Rio's like, no, I had a feeling something weird was going on here. Hey, old man, get your ass out here. And here he comes with Cowdy in tow. And she's like, I watched him.
I watched him. You were supposed to keep him there. Like, yes, you kept an eye on him, but you let him leave.
It reminds me of that episode of The Simpsons, like, Cowdy, you were supposed to be watching him. You're supposed to be keeping an eye on him. And Cowdy could be like, oh yeah, I was. First he left the apartment, and now we're here.
Yeah.
Good job, Cowdy. You're such an asset here at City Hunter.
City Hunter and City Hunter.
City and Hunter. The offices of City and Hunter. So Rio demands an explanation like, okay, none of this makes sense. All of you seem to be in on it, even you, old man. The princess is the only one who doesn't seem to know what's going on, and myself included. What the hell is all this? And the old man explains, oh, well, it turns out he's actually doing this for her because he doesn't want her to have to live in a mountain anymore. And he really wants the area to grow and be more prosperous, and we're actually all okay with that. So there was no problem this whole episode.
But didn't she not want that, though? She did not want the progress.
No, she didn't. She wanted things to stay the way they were, and compared to everything she's seen here in Tokyo, she doesn't want it looking so modern or so trashy.
Yeah, she says to Gorobei or whatever his name is. She says to him, I've seen all of Tokyo, I've seen what it's like, and I really like it here, but I don't want our place to be like this. I want our place to just stay our place. And so they're like, all right, well, I'll do whatever you say, but only if Rio and I kung fu fight. Well, not really kung fu, but
yeah, like, I want Rio to duel me for the deed, because, like, it's not like Rio has the deed, like, he's holding it, but it's not his.
Yeah, he's got it in his possession. It's not his deed.
Right, like, Rio doesn't currently own the valley.
Yeah.
Like, that didn't happen, but he's still like, we must duel for it. And, like, this guy hasn't been watching City Hunter. We've been watching City Hunter. We know how this is gonna go.
Yeah.
Rio's too quick with it. He shoots the guy's gun before he even pulls it from the holster. Like, he never had a chance.
Gun just kind of blows into pieces, and the guy kind of is blown back a little bit from the hit. And everybody's like, oh my god, did you shoot him? No, I didn't shoot him. I shot his gun. And, like, he just could not even get it out quickly enough.
He just couldn't get it out.
He couldn't get it out.
And I assure you, this happens to a lot of people. But Rio's like, no, like, I don't need to kill him. Like, this seems pretty easy. Y'all talk amongst yourselves, figure it out. And they do. And Rio's like, okay, great. So now that y'all figured this out, hey, old man, Gundayu, where's my payment? I'd like to get paid for all this.
Gundai's answer is, well, just marry the princess and then I won't have to pay you. And Rio's allergic to the idea of getting married. He loves the idea of women, but he does not want to marry them. And he would rather be paid than have to get married. But then he would also rather just not do anything, and so he runs away.
Yeah, he's like, well, come on, marry the princess. You could be a great hunter in the mountains. And he runs off as Get Wild starts playing. He's like, no, you got it wrong, man. I'm not a mountain hunter. I'm a city hunter. And then... And that's our episode. So, it's a nice misunderstanding, but I feel bad for Cowdy and Rio that they didn't get paid this week.
I mean, maybe they worked it out, but Rio...
I mean, they better.
Rio definitely ran away from a marriage. This time, the princess did not seem to fall for him.
No, she didn't seem to have any sort of feelings for him whatsoever.
I'm kind of satisfied with the way all of that turned out. Like, there wasn't any kind of a relationship that built off of that, and he didn't grope her, and he's now running away from somebody else suggesting the marriage, and this girl did not say that she wanted to get married. So, it's cute, it's funny, and it also means, hey, maybe Cowrie's actually got a shot, which, doesn't ever happen.
Now, I've been doing this for a couple of episodes now, and I'm gonna do it again this week. So after the halfway point of the episode, which is the chopper attack, and Rio did save Taro from the back seat of the Mini, we never see Taro again for the rest of the episode.
Oh no, what happened to the monkey?
We don't know.
Oh no.
Taro went missing.
I mean, maybe he was just hanging out in Rio's apartment. I don't know.
You think Rio would trust that monkey in his apartment when he's got live ammo in the apartment?
The monkey did tear up his seat.
Yeah, like, I would not, if I knew the monkey tore up my one vehicle, which is now gone due to completely semi-related circumstances, but it wasn't the monkey's fault, I wouldn't leave the monkey near where I keep my guns.
Which, you don't have guns, either.
No,
so.
I have 2 cats, and I don't even let them near my Nerf guns. So why would I leave a monkey?
What are you talking about? You pull out the Nerf guns all the time, and they get really excited about it, and then you fire a dart or a ball or whatever, and they run across the entire house trying to chase it, because they hear the sound just of you cocking this not real gun, and their eyes get huge, and they start to chatter like, this is it, he's gonna do it, he's gonna do it.
Do you imagine what that would be like with a monkey that would get that excited over the sound of a gun getting cocked?
Oh my god, he's gonna fire it, this is gonna be so cool.
It's like that Hellboy cartoon. Does that monkey have a gun? He's got a gun!
What's the name of that animated series that just came out with the monkey?
Oh, Hit Monkey.
Yeah, this just becomes Hit Monkey.
This just becomes Hit Monkey.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's in Japan.
It is in Japan.
So, yeah, this is how Hit Monkey happens.
Oh, wow. Damn, you made that work. I am surprised.
Yeah,
good job.
I made that completely non-existent thread happen.
Good job. I applaud you, but not directly into the microphone. But I'm at least patting you on the shoulder right now.
Okay, cool.
So on next week's episode of City Hunter, we've got Sayako back in the mix. We've got a hangover situation where Rio can't remember what happened the night before.
And another exploding Mini Cooper!
Yay! How much is this costing him?
Oh, it costs him at least $10,000 every single time.
At least.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
And I guess on that note, come back next time when we cover the 21st episode of the TV series Faceless Snipers, Rio and Sayako's Dangerous Game.
If you want to catch us outside this podcast, you can always find us both over on Twitter. I'm at JoshKnightTheFirst.
And I'm at MarzGurl. Thank you all so much for listening to our 20th episode of MokkoriPlay. And if you don't come back next episode, I'm gonna have a Shinto priest smack Josh in the head with a plank of wood.
But why?